Hello everyone, Kier here, and welcome to the InfiNOT podcast. I'm focused on the casual nature of the game, and each week I discuss the new patch, the new card, and my feelings on the game. Let's hop into it. So this week is once again pretty slow, but it's the beginning of the new year, and the new season has just been announced, so Happy New Year to everybody. I'm a little bit hopeful with the character mastery details that are coming out that, you know, this next leg of Snap's journey is going to be exciting and prove to be, you know, maybe a revival for the game. But at the same time, you know, I have my doubts. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. For all of you that stuck with me for, this past year, I just wanted to say thank you. We're getting a pretty consistent number of viewers every week, and the guild that I'm a part of has been really stellar in contributing, and we're having a lot of fun there. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for supporting me, and without further ado, let's get into the news, shall we? We have two new cards to talk about because Lasher just came out in the new high voltage game mode, and Rocket Raccoon and Groot, singular card, came out this past week. So we're going to talk about both of those. Starting with Lasher. Lasher is a 2/2 that says, activate, afflict an enemy card here with negative power equal to this card's power. This card is really unique in that it really slots into two archetypes that wouldn't normally overlap. That being the hand buff archetype and the negative affliction archetype. This card fits seamlessly into both, and doesn't need any other synergies. It just works by itself. Honestly, when I look at this card, I'm like, man, I think they were correct in making it, a 2/2, because anything above that is just nuts. This card is really, really good. Just at its base level, you can assume that it's going to be a 2/4 if you play it before turn 5, or before turn 6. You can expect it to be a 2/4, and that's just good on its own. Like, that's solid. But what it's really good at is creating a lot of combo potential for your decks. The High Evo archetype certainly appreciates this because, you have Ajax and Abomination, both of which get more powerful based off of, Lasher's Affliction. And then the hand buff archetype with, the Scarlet Spider, Gwenpool, Galacta sort of idea can make Lasher insanely strong. We're talking about, I've seen him go up to 19 power and just absolutely decimate a lane. And since it's an activate effect, it's not like you can stop it with a Cosmo or something. You need Luke Cage or you need Red Guardian. But even then, right, Red Guardian isn't going to stop this card once it reaches a high enough power. It's going to hit something else. So yeah, really, really strong card. I would even venture it might be a little too strong, but, I don't feel like it's too oppressive. I just feel like it's similar to Galacta in that the numbers are just big, man. They're just big. So yeah, 10 out of 10. For those of you who got the card, I'm sure that it's really great. I only made it halfway up the voltage ladder, and as of recording this, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to finish it in time. But yeah, really great card. I would say really great addition to the game. Okay, next up, we're talking about Rocket Raccoon and Groot, and from this point on, I'm going to refer to them as RG, because saying the whole name over and over again is going to be exhausting. So RG is a 3/3 that says, you can move this once. After your opponent plays a card here, steal 1 power from it. So this card also sort of benefits in the same lists that Lasher does, in that, archetype where you're trying to get value off of the negative affliction. Although there is an argument to be said, and I'm sure you've heard this if you've been around the block in terms of the Snap community, that, this could just be a good card. You throw it into a deck where you just need a solid power for a 3 cost, and it's probably going to get there. And the move is no joke, right? There are locations like Death's Domain that steal value off of having cards that can reach there. And I think for all of those purposes, it's good. Uh, what's strange is I feel about this card what most people would feel about speed, right? Speed is just a generic 3 cost that, as long as you're filling your curve, is usually going to be like a 3/8 to 3/9. And in a similar effect, RG is going to be in that same ballpark in terms of power, and it has that extra utility. So I don't know. For me, this card is just very boring. Like, I didn't get the card, not because I don't think it's good, it's just I already have speed, and I feel like I'm very happy with speed's effect. In fact, I'm a huge fan of speed. I love that card. I try to jam in as many decks as possible, so for me, this card doesn't hit the same. But if you're looking for a generic 3 cost to fill that slot, this does slot in there. It does compete in terms of power and utility. Instead of throwing a Nocturne in there, you could throw this in there, and it has, a similar sort of value. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I haven't seen it in any decks that, like, blew my mind particularly. I did see a new sort of Guardians archetype be brought up. Regis Kilbin made a list that seems to be doing pretty okay, where you're using Jean Grey in combination with RG and some Guardians, and it's sort of, combines to be a pretty solid deck. So who knows, maybe that deck archetype is something that might pop up more. I'm just a little cautious when it comes to the Guardians. They're just power cards, and, some cards do a little bit more than that. But, we'll see. I would say it's a solid, I would say this card is a solid 5 out of 10 for me. I think it has a place in the game. It's just not going to be something that I want to add to my collection. And the last thing that I just wanted to talk about quickly is the new update that they just announced for January. And it looks pretty promising. Our abilities, or the card's new abilities that are going to be in the game, seem to be really cool and add to archetypes or create new ones. In particular, Victoria Hand seems to be, exciting a lot of people. And she'll add to that sort of like shield devil dino archetype really, really well. Some of the cards in here that I'm personally excited for is Moonstone. That card looks nuts. Bullseye and Ares seem to be pretty good. And Iron Patriot is the Season Pass card. And it's a sort of all or nothing sort of deal. And as per usual, we're going to cover those cards as they appear. But I just wanted to say that this next season looks really fun. Like, all of these cards, if you bought it, I think you'd get a lot of value out of it. None of these seem like duds to me. And yeah, that appears to be everything that I have to talk about this week. Sorry for the shorter episode. I usually try to, make these worthwhile. But hey, we're under 25 minutes, and that's the only quota that I have. So I appreciate you listening. And if you want to catch me on my socials, you can find me everywhere at Kiernimbus as a reminder. And if there's one thing that you can remember, it's that I'm InfiNOT. Thanks for listening.